In this lesson, we're going to work with some numbers and try to figure out which one of these mixed fractions is the least number. So we have a problem that says which number is less than 2 1/4. Okay, so we have a list of numbers here that we need to figure out if they are less than 2 1/4, and all of them are mixed numbers. Okay, so that means a whole number mixed in with a fraction. So the first thing to do is compare the whole numbers to see which you can rule out right away. So if we take a look at the list here, we can see that this is the biggest number. 3 is greater than 2. 3 is greater than 2. So we can rule this one out right away. Okay? So now compare the numbers that have the same denominator as 2 1/4, because that'll just make it easier off the bat. Okay, so this has a denominator of 10, this has a denominator of 5, this has a denominator of 4. So we could very quickly compare these two. So 2 3/4 is greater than 2 1/4, right? We know that because 3/4 is bigger than a quarter, right? 3/4 is 3 parts of a whole, and this is only one part of it, right? One part out of 4. This is 3 parts out of 4. This is bigger. So now we can move on to the next one. We can find the common denominators for the remaining numbers. So that's how you'll be able to compare them. You'd have to find common denominators. Okay, so let's take a look at this one, 2 1/10. So to make it a common denominator, what's common between 10 and 4 is 40, right? So we can multiply the top and bottom by 4. So 2 1/10 becomes 2 4/40. So like we said, 40 is the common denominator, so we can multiply the top and bottom by 10. So we have 2 and 10 over 40. 2 1/4 becomes 2 and 10 over 40. Now we can compare. So 2 4/40 is less than 2 10/40, right? Because 4 is less than 10. So we know that 2 1/10 is less than 2 1/4, because these are equivalent, right? 2 4/40 is the same as 2 1/10, right? That's what we did here. And then we know that 2 10/40 is our original number, 2 1/4. So now we know that this number is less than this number. Let's look at the other number we have left. 2 2/5. So the common denominator between 5 and 4 is going to be 20, right? So to get the common denominator of 20, we multiply top and bottom by 4, and we have 2 and 8/20. And we do the same thing for 2 1/4. So how do you get the common denominator of 20 for that? Well, you multiply by 5. 4 times 5 gives you 20. And what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So 1 times 5 is 5. So now we've transformed 2 1/4 to 2 5/20. And this will allow us to compare it with this one. So let's do that comparison. So 2 8/20 is greater than 2 5/20, because 8 is greater than 5, okay? So that means 2 2/5 is greater than 2 1/4. So our final answer is 2 1/10 is less than 2 1/4. That is the final answer. And that's how you do that problem. And don't worry if you don't understand that right away. You could just rewatch the video. As well, you could take a look in the description. There's links there to other videos of mine that I've done that are similar, so you could check those out. As well, you could download the ebook. In the ebook, you'll find the link to this exact lesson, and you can follow along in the ebook as you watch the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for listening.